Welcome back to This Is How We Create. My name is Martine Severin, your host. I am so glad that you are here. Today we're going to talk about social media marketing as well as growing your audience online. And that is why I've brought on a guest. So we have Lina Monterrey, who is our social media
specialist.
You are a specialist, and you are a specialist because you're going to talk about all of the things that are that have to do with social media and how you've been able to sprinkle fairy dust on all of the things that we've been doing in the last
since March. Yeah. and it's December, so that's 9 months. Oh my God.
Yes. Okay, so the reason why Lina is laughing, I think working with me, I like to go fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many ideas. Like, it's always something new.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why it feels...
Poor you. It's always something new. What other ideas is she going to have today? Lots of crazy ideas. I am an artist. I am a Capricorn. What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini.
Oh.
I'm a creative.
That makes so much sense. Everything is coming. My sister's a Gemini.
Oh, that's nice. And how do you two get along?
Oh, she's my best friend.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Mm-hmm. She's wonderful. She keeps me on my toes. So, what I want to talk with you about today, Lina, is how you've really helped to turn around everything that we've done social media wise on This Is How We Create. And when I say this, everybody, I am not flattering her because she knows. She knows. Okay, so Lina, when you first came on board,
yeah.
And I said, what did I say? I said that I wanted to grow our social media. Well, I gave her this whole plan, right? Because we went through this whole plan.
Yeah.
We talked about what This Is How We Create is, who our ideal customer is. And then we also talked about where we want it to go in 5 years, right? And then we went back and thought about, okay, if this is what we want to do in 5 years, and we're not going to tell you because it's going to be a surprise, we needed to slowly build up our audience. And you came on and you saw what we had in terms of an audience because you keep track of the numbers and we go over numbers every Thursday in our Thursday meeting. So we started out with growing out our Instagram audience. We have to grow our Substack audience, grow the listenership on the podcast. And why do we have to grow our audience? Well, because I want to take over the world. Just kidding. But we just, putting on a podcast, producing a podcast takes so much work. And we wanted to reach more people, honestly. We wanted to reach more people, particularly since there really isn't as big of a spotlight on creatives of color as I would like. And so that's what our mission is. So when you came on board, can you tell me, do you remember the conversations we would have about the very beginning?
There was one time where I was like, okay, Martine, what do you want to do with the podcast? I want to see where we're going. And you literally stopped and you said, I want to create an empire. And I was like, oh, Lord, how am I going to create an empire for this whole thing? And then I saw what the podcast had been doing for the past months. And I was like, this is such good content. And this is so special. And this is so different from what everyone else is doing. But it needed a little push.
A little. You're being. Don't be shy. A little.
It needed a whole rebrand. but
Yeah.
but that was so amazing, like to be able to work with such raw material that you can tell that it just needs a little bit of shaping in the social media way for people to get to know it. I saw the potential right away, and I was just so happy to be able to express myself in a project, in such an artistic project, because again, Geminis are creative. So I was like, this is the environment that I feel like I thrive the most in. So I was just really excited.
This episode is brought to you by iCode. Every child starts as a creator. They imagine stories, build worlds, and ask big questions. But as they grow up, creativity can take a backseat to routine and screens. That's where iCode comes in. Through after-school STEM activities, iCode's programs give kids a space to create again. Visit icodeschool.com to book a free trial.
Well, so I think, how many followers did we have when you first started?
Like 300, yeah.
Well, but not to laugh, right? 300 is amazing. I don't think I have 300 friends, you know what I mean? So 300 is really wonderful. 300 fans, 300 people who showed up. That's something pretty special. But we wanted to have more because I think our listeners and the guests that have been on the podcast, they deserve for more people to see how just wonderful and creative they are, and how they're working hard, and their story needs to be told. And so for me, like, I'm really, really passionate about that. So that's one of the reasons why we want to grow the empire. But all joking aside, but I guess by empire meaning that there is so much out there, that there are so many artists that are creating, and I feel like we're going through a renaissance, a creative renaissance. And so how can I be a voice? How can I be someone to help more people? So that's one of the reasons why we're doing this work, not from hubris, not from me, but for
Our artists, and
for our
to give
artists.
them a platform and a place where they feel comfortable, because some of them are just truly amazing, and they had like barely any followers, and I was like, how is this going unnoticed? So
Yeah, exactly.
so be able to build that platform that they so desperately like need, because the world needs to see this amazing art, is just a great journey.
So we started out with 300 people in our community. And I wanted to grow that in a year to 10,000. You started working in the spring. So I think we said April?
The middle of March.
The middle of March. And what have you done since then? How many followers do we have now?
So right now we're at 11.3K.
Yeah, so 11,000.
Yeah. That's a lot. And we we had scheduled like 10K for a year. Like we were like, oh yeah, that's totally achievable. And when we hit, we weren't even in the 6-month mark, and we hit 10K, and we were like, what do we do now?
Yeah. Fast. Yeah. What do we do now? Because in 6 months we were able to grow from that was so fast. That was unbelievable.
Yeah. And it was so amazing to see so many people like turn up to find out things that they really wanted in their life. Like for one of my favorite things that we did was a reel about how to get a grant, and so many people turn up and being like, I want to achieve this. I want this. This is an amazing insight. This is so helpful. Like when you see those results in real life, you're like, wow, this is huge.
It is. It is. And just to be clear, our most popular content that we put out on social media, which ends up being our most popular and most consumed episodes, because they go hand in hand, right? So if somebody is really loving the reel that we've put together, whatever it is that we've shared on social media, then they're going to go and listen to the podcast episode. And so the two of them they work hand in glove. But our most popular ones are the ones where we're sharing really tactical advice. And unfortunately, and this is really bad for me, and we're going to move from me and talk more about you in a second. But I think one of the reasons why I couldn't go beyond, I wasn't posting, is because I didn't want the whole thing to be about me. You know, like that was the block I had. And so you helped me move beyond it being about me and help me move the mind frame of the building our community to be more about the community. Mm-hmm. And I think that mind frame was really important. So thank you for helping me come up with that. So as we go, tell me, what are your thoughts in terms of us having grown so quickly? Because it's not something we anticipated. I mean, we hoped and dreamed, mm-hmm. but it was crazy. It was crazy. We were growing about 1,000 fans, like, wait, 500 a week, or is it 1,000 a week? 500?
Sometimes it hit 500 a week, and I was like, wow, that's a lot. What I expected was a huge turn up. I didn't know, like 10K, but a huge one, because this was just such great content and advice, and just having such amazing people. Even one of the episodes that Martin first showed me, that you first showed me, it was about a National Geographic photographer. And I was like, I cannot believe.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I was like, I cannot believe we have such amazing people in here. And he just told such a wild story. Yes. About getting lost in the jungle.
That was Esdras. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. You never know what people are gonna share.
And that was just my favorite thing. I was like, this is gonna be huge. Like, this just needs the platform and the shaping to grow. But it's already so great. But that's the thing with social media. Even if you have amazing content, you need to know how to present it to the world so that they're actually interested in. And that was like the main challenge that we had at the beginning.
Okay. So on the heel of what you've just said, which I find really interesting, so what did you do in order to be able to create these? Because I'm not doing it. I wasn't doing the reels. I don't do the reels, y'all. The ones I do are the more personal ones. Lina does them. So can you tell us about how you go about making decisions so that you are prioritizing our creators, their stories, and sharing those stories and finding moments in an episode that will appeal to people who are going through kind of the same thing?
I love when we start off with emotion. So if our guest had a hardship or a joyful moment, that it was maybe a milestone or a fun trip, like this episode, that's what the audience mainly wants to hear. So you're gonna take that snippet. But here's the thing, it's social media. You're not going to post the whole thing. You want to just leave that cliffhanger so people are like, oh, this is juicy, this is fun, this is interesting. I want to listen to the whole episode. But it's interesting enough because we talk a lot about hooks and visuals and audio hooks, so that when you're scrolling, you actually stop and you're like, oh, this is interesting. I want to learn more. And I think that's what most people fail on that. They just start off with the beginning, and maybe that's not always the most interesting part.
Yeah,
exactly. So that's one of the tips that I always love to give people.
Okay, so let's now talk about, as creatives, they're listening to this and they're like, well, how can I grow so quickly? Lina is here to share all of this with you. So Lina, can you tell us about what mistakes you see people make when they're building their audience?
The one that always pops in my head is like, you actually don't know your audience. Like, you think maybe you have a client that has a podcast for animated stories and they're fun and dynamic. And they think their audience is just people under 30s, maybe people who like comics and are a little bit older. But then you check your statistics and most of your audience are teenagers. So it's like, maybe you could find a way to incorporate both your ideal customer and the ones you already have in order to build this content that will be enjoyable for both of them. So that way you get your goal and you also get that as much juice from what you're already getting on social media. And you're also prioritizing what they like, which I find it's something that us as an audience really like, when we're giving something useful and we feel seen and we feel like we're part of the project. So that's the biggest mistake that people make, just not knowing their audience.
Well, to that, how does someone actually begin to know who their audience is?
Look at your statistics. That is something that I find many platforms have creator tools. Meta Business has a whole dashboard for you. Even TikTok has the creator tools that you can use. There are so many places where you can research. Even Instagram can tell you where your audience is from, what age gap they're in, which gender listens to you most. You actually need to look at those things and see, oh, is this actually what I thought it would be, or is this something else that I need to know in order to rewire what I'm doing? Because at the end of the day, you need to know that, yeah, I'm making a mistake. I could be doing this better, and you actually want to incorporate that feedback.
But what happens when someone has an audience that they don't want? So say you think that your audience is supposed to be women between the ages of 17 and 25, but it turns out your audience is 27 and 35. It's a big change. Like, how do you think about changing your content and changing your marketing or your social media strategy so that you can really target your own audience, the audience that you actually want?
It's a huge rebrand when you find out that your audience doesn't correlate to what you're actually doing. So take a look at your content, step back, see it from the place of the consumer, and maybe notice some of the things that you're doing aesthetically or in communication style that could give you some clues as to what you're doing wrong. Because I find it really easy to tell when an Instagram is being handled by a Gen Z than from a millennial, let's say. So it's such little cues, but it's...
What are those cues?
The tone. It's mainly the tone, if they're up to trends or memes. I think every generation has a specific communication style. There was like a really big trend where people were like, oh, how a Gen Z versus a millennial versus a boomer uploads a photo. And the Gen Z was really minimalist and just they put a little word into the story. And the millennial was like, here's the location and, oh, this is the best drinks I've had. And the boomer just had like the whole picture and a sticker and another sticker and then the place and getting drinks with the ladies or something like that. So yeah, you can, I think the age gap is the easiest to fit because everyone has such a different tone in communication.
So then you probably would have to come up with a document that lists the tone, that you use, the words that you use, and all of that, so that you could switch it. Right?
That's
like a rebrand is another episode altogether.
Exactly. But just the customer journey, which is a whole map to where they start interacting with your content to even the post moment of the sale, like what you're going to do after they consume your your content. That's a huge one. I love to start up with that one. And then you can start doing your buyer persona, which is this whole document where when you put the age gap, whatever job they're doing, like this is basically you imagining your perfect customer, like what's their everyday life, what are their pain points, how do you solve any of them, and even something really personal to each brand. Maybe if you're doing a startup, you could do what's their level of managing technology. And if you're an artist, what's their favorite stylistic choice for, I don't know, their house decor? Are they a minimalist? Are they a maximalist? And just see the whole picture and kind of imagine yourself as that person and then ask yourself, will they be consuming your content?
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Lina. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me, Martin. This was really special.
And you realize you have to create a reel out of this
Exactly.
for yourself.
I was thinking that.
Hi there. If you're loving the show, would you mind taking a quick second to leave us a 5-star review on your favorite go-to podcast app? While you're at it, subscribe to our Substack newsletter, Creative Matters. You can find the link to subscribe in the show notes. All right, that's all that I have for you today. Bye.